Hey folks, it's Lady AWNAriffic today with a mod spotlight. We are going to take a look today at the Saddle Emporium, which is done by Nivea. You can find the link to the mod and all its information specifically down in the description below. But let's go ahead and get in here. Now, currently she only has a couple of saddle overlays and new saddles for only a couple dinosaurs currently. We have the Trike, the Raptor, and the Parasaur. Now, the items here with the little eye icon are just skins. Just like, in your inventory when you get a skin, it has the same icon. And then the ones that say armor on them are like the actual saddles themselves. So, um, you can see here that it really doesn't take a whole lot to make the saddles at all. It'll vary per saddle, but like 5 metal ingots and stuff is really not a whole lot at all. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the Parasaur first. Now, this Parasaur comes with 5 different saddle types. And one of them's not even technically a saddle. So you have the primitive Caravan Saddle, the primitive Explorer Saddle, the primitive Fancy Explorer Saddle, the regular primitive Farming Saddle, and just a primitive halter, which is pretty cool. This mod in general is going to be pretty amazing if you guys do role plays, or if you're just bored with the standard Ark saddles and you own your own server, or can convince your server provider host to implement it for you. So this saddle has a bunch of baskets on it. It's got like a box on the back with a giant pouch, a couple of pouches on the side, and some more jars, which I don't know, can contain, I'm assuming, water or some sort of other liquidy drink and stuff. Um, so yeah, that's a pretty cool mod. I quite enjoy the new overhaul of the saddles and stuff. So let's go ahead and we can just swap out. So that was the Caravan Saddle, and we're swapping out for the Explorer Saddle, which has got a bunch of satchels and a rolled up, I would assume, rolled up like sleeping bag underneath there on the back, and then on top of it's like maybe like stakes for a tent or something, or maybe, I don't know, ladder. But you can see there's a cooking pot hanging off the back end there too, and looks pretty nifty at everything, I think. Yeah, it's definitely better than your age-old standard saddle. Let's go ahead and pull the Fancy Explorer Saddle next and take a look. Now, this one seems to implement the Parasaur skin, Parasaur saddle skin, excuse me, that you get or used to get with every death. That's been a standard in Ark for a long time. Fancy leather seat that you actually legitimately sit on, and a bunch of gold embellishments. You can see that the hoops are gold, that the what's it called here? The saddle handle is gold on the back end. So yeah, it's pretty cool. A bunch of big satchels, and looks like again another and we've got another golden embellishment on the neck plate, it looks like. So these are pretty cool. I quite enjoy them all. And next we have up is the farming saddle, which got potatoes and corn, and you've got your mayhoes up there and your azelberries in the baskets, which, I mean, I don't know. I'm all over it. I think for the Parasaur, this is my favorite saddle. Um, because, I mean, it shows actual things inside the buckets and stuff. You don't just, like, have to use your imagination. There's nothing wrong with using your imagination, of course. It's just, you know. Um, we've gone back from gold embellishments to just fancy silver ones because, you know, that's how we roll. And so, I mean, you know, it's all of them have a um, words. Why for do you escape me? All of them have saddle blankets. That's what's the blanket underneath. Um, the saddle is called is a saddle blanket. It helps keep the saddle from chafing the backside of said poor critter. And then we have all right, a little bit of lag is what we have, and then we have just a strict halter, which you can see if you were to use S Plus's hitching post, um, that would be pretty cool to go along with it because it would act like a halter's lead, not just the actual halter itself. But I mean, even just a halter itself, you can see is pretty nifty. And you might at some point be able to combine the halter with a lead in the future that isn't S plus. I don't know entirely, but so yeah, that's what we've got for the Parasaur parts. And now we're gonna take a look at the Raptor. The Raptor has 6 different embellishments. So let's go ahead and show you the halter real quick, since it's just a halter. Now, this guy has a halter like the Parasaur, but he's also got a collar to go along with it. Probably because raptors are going to be a little more harder to control in general just because of their nature. You know, they're feisty. So, give it a little quick jerk and they'll cooperate. Let's swap over and we'll go over to the Explorer saddle, which is pretty cool. It it's just like the other saddles, um, but raptor size. So, you know, it looks like it's also got a spyglass actually on the front there. Right down there, that's pretty cool. And when it comes to the saddles, um, you know, they provide different armor too. You can see that, like, the Scout saddle gives you 50 armor, and then the Poacher saddle give you like 35. So all the saddle armors do different, and they vary from um, standard Ark. Um, so this is the primitive Raptor Hunter saddle. Well, would you look at that? So it looks like we went out and we've caught a dodo. And if I could hop off here and push the right buttons, a dodo, one of the little monkeys, and a and a deer, and just kind of packed it on the back end. Our raptor must be strong because deers are big and heavy, and you add dodo meat to that and everything. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. You can see the underneath here. It goes under the belly and everything. So, as to add more support, I would assume, for all the weight he'll be carrying. So that's pretty nifty. I quite enjoy that little detail. So thank you, Nivea, for taking so much time and effort. Like, you don't find a deer in this general uh, manner on Ark, so I'm pretty sure it had to be hand manipulated and sculpted into that particular time type of position. That's the word, position. All right, so we're gonna swap over to the primitive raptor harness. Okay, so So, okay. So the Raptor has a harness, which is just kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to technically ride with this on. I would assume so because there's armor. So, let's see. Equip Raptor. Oh, okay. So not meant for riding because I cheated in, guys. Don't get mad. I cheated in these couple of creatures just for the showcase, so I can actually ride them and stuff properly without having to go out and tame and yeah. But yeah, it says in the description that it's not meant for riding. It's meant for pack mates. So if you run around with Raptor packs, this gives you 40 additional armor to each of them. Um, so it's a pretty good thing to have. You're going to want to make sure that you definitely equip all your raptors with that. And this is the hunter saddle. I already did that. And the poacher saddle. Okay. So, this one got Megasaurus, Rack, and looks like Pelt of the Wolf, and maybe Perlovia, and then, dang it, I keep hitting the wrong button, and then like a bear trap here. It's pretty shiny. The shiny bear trap. Never been used bear trap, right? And then like a tooth of some critter, or maybe a claw. Not entirely sure. It's pretty cool though. So yeah, I mean, it holds arrows on the quiver, and again, since the raptor's so tiny, it's got that support underneath its neck and belly, which makes sense. I mean, would you want to be saddled and have no support and like feel like you're always gonna fall forward? Okay, so the scout saddle's got the highest amount of armor at 50, which which is pretty good because most average standard vanilla raptors are going to need the extra buff and armor, even if they have what you consider high health. A little extra armor can't hurt at all. So yeah, it's basically like the counterpart for the Parasaur and whatnot. So, and it looks like we've checked out everything. So we'll go ahead and pop off you. A little bit of lag. Alright. And go over to my favorite animal. One of my favorite animals of all times, the Triceratops. And the Triceratops only sadly comes with 4. But you know, it happens. Just how it is. I'm sure maybe at a later date that they'll get something more, or there'll be others for its counterparts like the Pachyrhinosaurus. So let's go ahead and put the Caravan Saddle on. Whoa. Whoa, mama. Alright. We're gonna get on you at some point. Whew. That is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So chests filled with things. Chest on the back. A bunch of pouches. Boxes. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. A bunch of satchels. Oh, okay. I forgot that you stand up on the trike's back end. Yeah, let's take a look here. There's like crystal over there in the corner and some stone. And on the back end's another pot and a couple of, I'm guessing grain bags and stuff, or maybe seed carryings. There's a tiny little kit here in front of me. I don't know. Maybe that's a healing kit. But yeah, it's a really big saddle. But I mean, it's a really big animal to carry the heavy duty stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and swap over to the Explorer Saddle, which has a colored words. Why? Why today? Same thing every time. I can't even think to even know what that's called right now. Saddle blanket. That's the word. It has a pretty blue saddle blanket underneath it, and it looks to be just an expanded version of what the other two have already got. So you've got your bag on the back, a bunch of satchels, your cooking pot, and what have you. And oh, look at that little detail under that poor little trike's nose. It's got a ring. So if your Triceratops gets out of hand, give it a tug, and nobody likes their nose ring pulled. So fancy Explorer Saddle, which has got, well, it is fancy. It's got a golden trimmed saddle thing. That's it. That's what I'm calling it from now on. Saddle thing, because I just can't. It too has golden embellishments. You can see that the nose ring is golden. All the other rings and buckles. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Saddle is still huge. Still really big for a human. Our poor legs. By the time we get off, we feel like we've been riding for years, even though it might have been like 20 minutes. Okay, so done those. I guess we just have this one. And you can indeed ride with just the halter. So normally you wouldn't be hovering like I did, but again, that's because I cheated, like I said, in order to bring these in to get things showed off. So, yeah, it's back to just a regular halter and nose ring. And again, if you were to, let's see, if you were to stick down a hitching post, okay, well, yeah, the hitching post is a little glitchy, but there we go. Boing, 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 boing. See, look at that. You can't tell me that that isn't pretty amazing. I mean, how cool is that? Nivea, thank you. Thank you for making such an amazing mod. We do look forward to the other saddles for the other species coming soon. Guys, you can check out all the information in the description below. There will be a link. There will be further dinosaurs coming and new updates. When another update comes out, I will go ahead and bring you all back for it and let you know. Go let Nivea know what you want to see. Spinosaurus? Bassie? Maybe a Tuso or two? Come on. That would be amazing to see. A water mount saddle. Especially for the Tuso, I think. So, guys, if you like to hear, please slam that like button. And maybe, leave a sub. Toss me a comment in. Say hello. Let me know you're around and you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the flip side. Say goodbye, Winston. Later, folks.